Some footballers arrive with a talent so pure, so raw, and so undeniable that the world immediately surrenders to their potential. Mario Balotelli was one of those rare figures. He didn't just possess talent, he moved with the effortless grace of a player built in a laboratory specifically to dominate modern football. Power, staggering pace, immaculate technical vision, and a lethal, ice-cold finishing ability. Yet, fast forward through the timeline, and his career stands as one of the most compelling, tragic, and baffling paradoxes in sports history. A man who had the world at his feet, only to wage an endless war against the environment around him and ultimately against himself. To understand the tragedy of Mario Balotelli, you have to rewind to where the myth was born. By the time he was 17 years old, he wasn't just playing against grown men in Syria, he was bullying veteran international defenders who had spent decades mastering the art of Italian defending. By 19, he was walking away with a European treble alongside Inter Milan under Jose Mourinho, collecting medals that most legendary players spend an entire lifetime chasing. He was named Europe's Golden Boy, openly claiming he was second only to Lionel Messi. The hype was warranted, but beneath that explosive physical exterior was an emotional fuse that was burning down far faster than anyone inside the club could ever have anticipated.
What was the most problematic player you ever had to deal with?
Can I give you a suggestion?
Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario. Mario was good fun. I could write a book of 200 pages of my 2 years in Inter with Mario, but the book would be not a drama. The book would be
a comedy.
If you want to understand the psychological labyrinth of managing Mario Balotelli, look no further than Jose Mourinho. The special one once famously remarked that he could write a 200-page book on his relationship with Mario. And it wouldn't be a tragedy, it would be a pure comedy.
I remember one in Kazan.
Take November 2009 in Kazan, Russia. Inter Milan faced a crucial Champions League match with every single frontline striker injured except Mario. In the 42nd minute, Balotelli picked up an unnecessary yellow card. Mourinho spent 14 out of his 15 halftime minutes doing one single thing, begging a teenager to stay calm. He pleaded, "Mario, I cannot change you. I have no strikers on the bench. Do not touch anyone. Do not react." Minute 60. Mario gets enticed into a challenge, picks up a second yellow, and walks off. It was the moment Mourinho realized that talent without discipline is a ticking time bomb. Where Mourinho saw an untamable rebel, Roberto Mancini saw a son. Mancini loved Mario, bringing him to Manchester City to be the crown jewel of an emerging blue empire. But love in elite football often breaks under the weight of frustration.
But first, to Roberto Mancini and Mario Balotelli, who have clashed at Manchester City's training ground today.
The tension reached a boiling point at the Carrington training ground in January 2013, after Mario flew into a reckless, crunching tackle on a teammate who was just returning from a long-term injury. Mancini snapped. The world watched in shock as paparazzi cameras captured manager and player physically tearing at each other's bibs on the pitch. Mancini had backed Mario through endless red cards, missed curfews, and off-pitch chaos. But when a player turns his volatile energy against his own dressing room, even a father figure has to cut the cord.
The perfect thing, the perfect time for that perfect individual.
October 2011 was the absolute peak of the Balotelli phenomenon. Just 36 hours before the Manchester derby, emergency fire services were called to Mario's house at 1 in the morning because he and his friends were setting off fireworks inside his own bathroom. The media went into a frenzy, branding him an out-of-control loose cannon. How did Mario respond? He walked straight into Old Trafford, the fortress of Manchester United, and put on a masterclass, opening the scoring in a legendary 6-1 demolition. He pulled up his blue shirt, turned to the cameras, and revealed a simple undershirt with 3 words
Side-footed it past the...
It was an iconic statement of defiance. At that exact moment, he wasn't just a striker. He was a cultural icon, holding a mirror up to a world obsessed with his chaos. In elite football, world-class talent buys you forgiveness for arrogant behavior right up until that arrogance disrespects the game itself. During a preseason tour in Los Angeles against LA Galaxy, Mario found himself clean through on goal with an easy finish. Instead of slotting the ball home, he tried an excessively casual, spinning trick backheel that drifted embarrassingly wide. Mancini didn't hesitate. He subbed Mario off instantly, right then and there. It wasn't about missing a goal in a friendly match. It was the realization that Mario treated high-stakes situations like a playground game. Clubs began to realize that signing Mario didn't just mean acquiring a talented goal scorer, it meant constantly trying to manage an unpredictable hurricane that could turn on you at any moment.
What's the kid? Well, not from England, from Italy. The African kid. What's his name?
Balotelli.
Balotelli,
Mario
yeah.
Balotelli.
I've been hearing a lot about him in the States.
Well,
you don't want to hear about that, right? Because he played for Italy.
After leaving Manchester, Mario's career became a whirlwind tour across Europe. Liverpool brought him in to replace Luis Suarez, hoping to reform him, but the spark was gone. AC Milan offered home comfort, and for brief moments in France with Nice and Marseille, we saw flashes of his world-class past. But as the years ticked by, the elite European clubs stopped calling. He drifted to smaller clubs in Switzerland and Turkey, fighting battles with refs and managers in front of half-empty stadiums. The narrative had permanently shifted from how high can Mario Balotelli rise? To a far sadder question, what on earth could he have been if he had just stayed focused? Mario Balotelli's career cannot be called a failure. He won Serie A titles, lifted the Champions League trophy, claimed a Premier League championship, and scored unforgettable goals for his country on the biggest international stages. Yet, he will always remain football's ultimate what-if. He didn't fail because he lacked talent or physical ability. He failed to reach the very pinnacle because his greatest opponent was never the defender lining up across from him. It was the conflict within himself. A legacy of unmatched, breathtaking highlights, forever framed by the question he once asked the world: